Hello. So today we will continue the chapter. Chapter is The Red Trap by Selma Lagerlof. So in our first video we talked about that it's a Swedish story in which a peddler is there who used to roam here and there, explored along the roadside, and once he met a cottage owner who provided him shelter and food, and he showed him that he had saved 30 kronos from his previous month income. Then when he was about to leave, at that time he thought of something, and when both of them they went to their own way, then he came back and stole those 30 kronos and moved into dark wood. There he lost his way, and next we will read it. It was late in December, so it was a December time. Darkness was already descending over the forest. So in winter time, the evening, it comes a bit early comparative to summer season. This increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Gloom means sadness and despair means disappointment. So when the darkness was increasing, his gloom, his sadness and his disappointment, it was also increasing because it was a dangerous time in the dark wood. Finally, he saw no way out and he sank on the ground. As he was tired, he was frustrated and he was disappointed also. He was totally out of his control and he sank down on the ground. Means he sat down on the ground, tired to death, thinking that his last moment had come. When we had no hope, we think that it is the last moment of our life. The same thing was happening to them. He had lost all his hope and he was considering that his last time has arrived of his life. But just as he laid his head on the ground, he heard a sound. So he was tired, he was disappointed, he just slowly put his head on the ground. He heard a sound. A sound was coming. A hard, regular thumping. Thumping, the strike with the hammer in continuity. So he heard that thumping sound. There was no doubt as to what that was. So with that thumping sound, he understood that this is the sound of a factory work. There was no doubt, he raised himself. He got up. Those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill. He was sure that this thumping sound is of hammer stroke in a mill, in an iron mill. He thought, there must be people nearby. Then he thought that there must be people, there must be public figures around by. He summoned all his strength. Summoned means collected. So he summoned all his strength, got up and staggered in the direction of the sound. And with all his strength, he just started walking in speed. Staggered means just to run in the direction of the sound, and he was moving in that sound, in the direction of that sound. The Ramsjo iron work, the same the Proctor was talking about, which are now closed down, were not so long ago a large plant. So this Ramsjo iron works, in its time it was a large plant, it was a large iron mill with smelter. You have heard it about that smelting in your science chapter, that is iron ores and minerals. Smelting, it is a process in which the ores are refined and I think in the absence of oxygen, some type of this. Then with smelter, rolling mill and forge. Forge, you must have seen an episode in History TV, that Forge in Fire, where the crafter, they used to prepare those weapons. So forge, it is also a type of, you can say, it is a work which is used to be done in that iron mill. So in the summertime, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows slid down the canal. So it shows that it was a very busy iron mill, and which led to a large inland lake. And in the winter time, the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust which shifted down from the big charcoal crates. Now, this is just a description of that Ramsjo iron mill, that the coal dust particles, they used to scatter down on the roads, which blacken all the roads, uh, which comes from big charcoal crates. Now, during one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat in the dark forge near the furnace waiting for the pig iron. So it was winter time, it was the dark evening, and just before the Christmas time it is. The master smith, the main person of that iron mill, and his helper, they were sitting in the dark forge near the furnace. Furnace is a kiln where the iron products are made, or you can say it is just to melt down, I think. And they were waiting for the pig iron. You must have read about type of iron, pig iron, wrought iron. So they were waiting for that pig iron, which had been put in the fire to be ready to put on the anvil. Now, just they were waiting that product which is in the furnace, so that it will come out and they will proceed for the further work. Had been every now and then one of them got up to stir the glowing mass with a long iron bar. Now one of them, that person used to get up and shifted that shifted that firework with a long iron rod, so that it will be in a proper form, returning in a few moments, and then that person came back in few moments dripping with perspiration. Now it's a furnace, the heat is at high temperature, so obviously the perspiration is there, that sweating is there. Perspiration means sweating, though as was the custom. So it was the custom to go near the furnace, shifting that fire and come back sweating. So it was a custom. He wore nothing but a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes. So that helper or that smith, they used to wear a long shirt and the wooden shoes, so that the fire will not harm them. All the time there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. So every time that hammering, that thumping sound, that fire sound. So the lots of sound is, it was in custom that the sounds can be heard there. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. The fire boy shoveled charcoal into the maw of the furnace with a great deal of clatter. Now, the helper, they used to put coal in that furnace, and then the churning sound of coal, so those sounds were coming. Then outside roared the waterfall, and a sharp north wind whipped the rain against the brick tile roof. So this is a description of that Ramsjo mill, that outside of that Ramsjo mill there was a waterfall. The sound of that waterfall was also coming, and a sharp north wind is blowing, which is whipping the roof, the brick tile roof. It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge. Now I told you that lots of sound was coming from that forge, the furnace, the thumping sound, you can say that lots of sound was coming from the iron mill. So when the peddler opened the door, nobody noticed because they didn't listen, they didn't hear that sound of opening the gate, and they were not paying attention towards that also. Then entered the forge until he stood close up to the furnace. They were not aware that someone has arrived in their mill and someone was standing near the furnace until he was standing there near the furnace. Who was standing? The peddler. It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge. So now the author, they are clearing it that why master smith, he wasn't aware about the coming of the peddler because of that sound. He didn't pay attention, the opening of the gate, the closing of the gate, and until he stood close up to the furnace. Surely it was nothing unusual for poor vagabonds without any better shelter for the night to be attracted to the forge by the glow of light which escaped through the sooty panes and to come in to warm themselves in front of the fire. Now it was a custom in that Ramsjo mill. Now I told you that it was a December time, it was a winter time, and lots of peddlers. So it was a custom there. Lots of peddlers used to come to spend a night just because of the heat of that furnace. So the author is telling us that it was not unusual for the poor vagabonds to come there for the better shelter, to spend a night, and they got attracted by the glow of light which comes from the sooty panes. So panes, like you can see the crevices, those from where that glow of light was coming, and the vagabond, they attract towards that, and they just went there to spend a night just because of the heat. The blacksmith glanced only casually and indifferently at the intruder. Intruder means the one who gets into something without permission. So the blacksmith glanced only casually. He looked at him very casually. He didn't show any, means his expressions were neutral. Neither he was in anger nor he was happy. He looked the way people of his type usually did, with a long beard, dirty, ragged, and with a bunch of rat traps dangling on his chest. Now, it is a description of that vagabond, that he was dressed with worn clothes, rags. He was having a beard, he was quite dirty and untidy, and he was having a bunch of traps that were dangling on his chest. Means in a rope he kept all his rat traps and as a necklace there. He asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded a haughty consent without honoring him with a single word. Then the peddler, the vagabond, he asked permission to stay there, to spend a night near the furnace because of the warmth, and the master blacksmith, he nodded. Nodded means to move head like this, up, down, up and down, up and down. It is just to give a consent. So he gave his haughty, haughty means proud. So he gave a haughty consent without honoring him with a single word. So he gave him a permission, he permitted to stay there, but he didn't speak a single word. The tramp did not say anything either. Even that vagabond, that peddler, he didn't speak even a single word. He had not come there to talk, but only to warm himself and sleep. Because he was not there to talk, to conversate with him, or to say something to him, but he was there just to spend a night, to get a shelter for that night only. In those days, the Ramsjo iron mill was owned by a very prominent iron master whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. So now here the owner of that Ramsjo mill, he is described here that the owner of that mill was very prominent iron master whose ambition, who was strongly determined to provide good iron in the market. And for that he was doing hard work. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. So he used to go for the inspection in the daytime and then at the night time to just to come to know whether the work is going properly or not, whether it is doing well or not, whether the work is in proper way or not. So, and at this very moment, he came into the forge on one of his nightly rounds of inspection. So at that time, when the peddler was resting near the furnace, at that time, the owner of that iron mill, he also arrived and he found that he was there for the inspection during his routine. Yes, so before starting now, then we will discuss few words. So the first word was gloom. Gloom, I told you it's sad. Then despair, it's disappointment. Then one more word, I told you that pig iron, it's a type of iron. Perspiration, it's sweating. Then the next word, haughty, pride. So you must know about these meanings. Okay, now let's continue. Naturally, the first thing was the tall ragamuffin. Ragamuffin means the one who is in worn, torn condition. So that vagabond, he was tall, he was dirty, that's why he was called as ragamuffin, who had eased his way. The first, when we started that chapter, eased his way was the phrase that we were asked to find out the meaning. So eased his way means to get comfortable. Who had eased his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet rags. Okay, now it's a bit of science. When you keep those wet clothes or something wet near the fire, then steam arises from that. So in the same way that vagabond, he was roaming in the thick forest, it was the winter time, so his clothes, the rags, they were wet, and when he eased himself near the furnace, so due to that heat, the steam was coming from his wet clothes and he was comfortable sitting there. The iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmiths who had hardly deigned to look at the strangers. Now the iron master, he was not as same as that blacksmith. The blacksmith, he used not to pay attention towards the peddlers, the vagabonds who came there to spend a night or to get shelter. But in spite of that, that iron master, that owner of that Ramsjo mill, he was quite, you can say, he poked into the things. He always keen to know about the things. Same, he wanted to know about the stranger. He walked close up to him to know him, looked him over very carefully, then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. Then when he just went near to that peddler, he was eased himself and by keeping his hat on his like face so that the light will not come into his eyes and he can relax there easily. But the Iron Master, that owner of that mill, he went near that vagabond and snatch out or just move aside that hat from his face to get a better view. But of course, it is you, Nils Olof, he said, how do you look? How you do look means he mispretended him. He thought that he is one of the friend of him and he is Nils Olof. He mistook him, and the man with the rat traps had never before seen the Iron Master at Ramsjo and did not even know what his name was. Now, as the Iron Master was surprised to see him, the same happened to that peddler. He also got surprised because he had never seen that Iron Master before, and he even didn't know his name. Then the man with the rat traps had never seen the Iron Master at Ramsjo and did not even know what his name was. But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. Now again, something is going in his mind, that what the peddler was thinking, that if the Iron Master, he is mistaking him, he is thinking that he is an old acquaintance. Acquaintance, the person whom you know. So he thought that if he is taking me as one of the acquaintance, maybe just looking at my condition, he will give him some kronor, some currency, some amount of money. He might perhaps throw him a couple of kronor. Therefore, he did not want to undeceive him all at once. So, he was not willing to reveal his identity, that he is not Nils Olof. Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me, he said. Now the peddler, he also pretended that he is Nils Olof, and he, just to get sympathy from Iron Master, he said that yes, the God knows that the things, they have gone wrong with him. That's why his condition is like that. You should not have resigned from the regiment, said the Iron Master. Now the Iron Master, he is mistaking him as one of his friend. So he started conversation and he said that Nils Olof, you should not have resigned from the regiment. You should not have resigned from the post. That was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it never would have happened. Well, now of course you will come home with me. Then he said that if he would have been in the service at that time when Nils Olof resigned from the post, then he said it would never have happened. Like, he will not allow him to resign from that post, and well, now of course you will have come home with me. Then he said, leave the things, come with me to my home. To go along up to the manor house and be received by the honor like an old regimental comrade, that, however, did not please the tramp, the vagabond, the one who deceived someone. So when he got this, you can say, that invitation that Iron Master wants him to go with him to his house to celebrate something or to have a shelter there for the night, that idea did not please that tramp, that vagabond, because then he thought, if I'll go with him, maybe he will catch me, he will come to know about my identity, that I am not Nils Olof, then he might be throw me back outside, he might not entertain me, he might not provide me the shelter. So these thoughts were just going into his mind. Now we will just stop here for the session. Now we will talk about the words. So before that, I'll just summarize whatever we have done today. So here, like from that starting of this video, we have started from that point that he reached at the furnace, he got the shelter from there, and that time the iron master reached there, arrived there, and he had a word with him. When he found him, when he saw him, he found that he is Nils Olof, means he mistook him as Nils Olof, one of the comrade from his regiment, and then he asked him that he should not have resigned from there. Now let's find out these words again. Gloom, it is sad. Despair, disappointment. Perspiration, sweating. Haughty, pride. So now you have to remember these words, so that whenever you are supposed to write down the answers, you have to use this word which gives a good impression on the evaluator. Now let's, if you all know that it is an English class, today we will learn 5 new words that will be helpful to enrich your vocabulary. So let's start. Okay, first word that I'll take, it is blatantly. So blatantly means openly. When you don't think about anything, you just say it openly. So blatantly means openly. Like if I'll take an example, that he blatantly revealed his identity, means he was not confused, he was not shy, so he openly told. Then next, if I'll take magnificent, yeah, magnanimous. It means in a royal way, the huge, in a very royal way, like the kings or the queens do. So magnanimous, huge and royal. Then if I'll take another word, it will be oodles. Oodles means in a great amount. You can say a lot of. If I'll take another word, then it will be devise of. Devise of means to think about. To think of or to think about. If I'll take more another word, then it will be what I'll say, jubilant. Jubilant means joyful. So these are the 5 words, new words that can enrich your vocabulary. So today is the end of the session. I hope you will learn all these words, you will take it into your vocabulary, and if you were already aware or not, then you can just comment me. Thank you.